bro. Let's go over this Kotaku list really quick. Let's make fun of Kotaku. That's how, listen, 2024 started with Gamergate, SBI going after Cabrutus, and Alyssa Mercante running damage control. So let's see how Kotaku started the year versus how they ended, right? So Kotaku started the year with an entirely different branch, right? They had a whole New York branch with a bunch of journalists, and they were all happy drinking their Starbucks, pretending like they were doing something that was good for the world. And Kotaku ended the year firing not only a bunch of journalists, most of which from New York, but also a bunch of video editors, firing a bunch of people, not having nowhere near the amount of money to support themselves, and now they're struggling a bit to the point where they might eventually shut down. Who knows? Maybe even in 2025. But they still had to make sure that they ended their year with the same ideology that got them in trouble in the first place. So this is Kotaku's top 15 best games of 2024. So let's just look at them and make fun of them. Hold on, Carolyn. Hold on 1 second. I got you. Boom. Done. Now you're blue. All right, so let's look at the top 15 games. So I'm not even going to bother reading their crap because it's all bullshit, right? All of this shit here, I read it earlier. It's literally bullshit. Talks about how some games have controversy, online chuds, all that stuff. Oh, but I will read one thing. You guys want to know how they rank this? Here's how they rank this, okay? Before we actually show the rank, let me show you how they ranked this. So it says, here's how we arrived at this ranking. Each member of the Kotaku staff submitted a top 10 list, with each game being allotted a point value depending on where it was placed. If someone ranked a game as their favorite of the year, it would receive 10 points, with the second place game receiving 9, the third 8, and so on. Once the results of those ballots were tallied, there was some deliberation about the presence and placement of a few games. And in the end, we landed here. Without further ado, here are Kotaku's top 50 games. So they did it by number tally, which is how you're supposed to do it. But then Kotaku has to Kotaku, and they're like, well, you know, this game's got trans scars. This game is good for representation. Maybe we should bump it up a few, even though it might not have deserved to be in that slot. Interesting. There was some deliberation about the presence and the placement of a few games. So you already know their list is bullshit. So anyways, so let's see where they're at. Number 15. 1000 Resist. Okay. Never heard of this game. 1000 Resist. Don't give a fuck. Let's move on. Number 14, Mouthwashing. Of course, they're going to put Mouthwashing here. Now, I heard good things about Mouthwashing, but the fact that they put it here on the 2024 list, I mean, okay, I guess it is what it is, but they know that this, one of the people who worked on this game is a super wokey who was angry that people who were supposedly anti-woke were playing their game. So that's going to make them want to put this up on the list, of course. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, can't argue there. Let's go down. Silent Hill 2. I already knew Silent Hill 2 was going to be on this list. That was obvious. Senua Saga. They put, even I would disagree with this. They put Senua Saga. They put Hellblade 2 in front of Silent Hill 2. Now, as much as I dislike some of the things they did in Silent Hill 2, there ain't no fucking way that Senua Saga is better than Silent Hill 2, in my opinion. There's no way. But anyway, let's continue. Everybody could disagree with me on that. So it's barely, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is barely better than Senua Saga? Okay. I guess. Let's keep going. How the fuck is UFO 50 better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And again, I want to keep in mind, as much as I hate what they did in Rebirth, how the hell has anybody played this game? How the hell is UFO 50 better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? They say a staggering achievement, and for my money, The year's most surprising, captivating, and incredible game, UFO 50 is actually a collection of 50 games, all released in the 80s by developer UFO Soft. The thing is, however, that UFO Soft never actually existed. Instead, these are new games, a wonderful smorgasbord of games in different genres: role-playing games, platformers, side-scrolling action games, games in which you explore interesting worlds and find nifty upgrades and more. Wow, that's crazy. So UFO 50 is somehow better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I would say that's pretty fucking embarrassing, but okay. All right, let them cook. Let them cook. Let's keep going. Oh! Wow, bro. So Star Wars Outlaws is better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Silent Hill 2? Bro. Now we're getting to retard level. Now, and this, I fully expected this. I'm sure everybody expected it. It's Kotaku at the end of the day. Star Wars Outlaws is better than Rebirth and Silent Hill 2. Okay. Is this when we got to the deliberation part? This is the deliberation part, isn't it? Right? This is the part where they sat down. They're like, well, Kay Vess was hated on for being ugly. We need to make sure she gets up there. This is the deliberation part. All right. Let's keep going. Holy shit. Star Wars Outlaws number 8. What is this? A ranger, a role puzzling adventure? What is this? Half of the games on this list are giant releases that are trying to give you a little bit of everything. The role puzzling adventure is a bite-sized gem that repeatedly riffs on the same core concept and doesn't stick around long enough to trip over itself. What? How is this game better than Rebirth and Silent Hill 2? How? Seriously. Again, I can respect and hate Rebirth at the same time. I can respect the combat, the graphics, the settings, the gameplay. I can respect all that. The story is where they lost me. But what are we doing? Helldivers 2, okay, expected that. It's fine. Metaphor ReFantazio, still got to play it, so I have no comments on it, but I hear a lot of people love it, and it's sold massively. And okay, so here's where it gets obvious, right? So they got Balatro up here. This is where it all starts to meld with the Game Awards, which is fine. That's what I would expect, because I want you guys to keep in mind, the journalists are the ones that vote at the Game Awards. They hold 90% of the vote. 90% of the vote. So what we see on this list should match what we saw in the Game Awards, right? For the most part, kind of. Okay, well, so far it is. You got Helldivers. You got Metaphor ReFantazio. You got Balatro at number 4. It's starting to match. It's starting to match what we saw at the Game Awards, right? So let's keep going. What's after Balatro? Animal Well. Okay, we saw this in the Game Awards too. I don't know why people why is this game here? Why is this game here? Anyway, so Animal Well was here. So that means that number 2 should be Black Myth Wukong, right? Number 2 should be Black Myth Wukong, and number 1 should be Astrobot. That's what this list should be, since we're basically following the Game Awards, right? Okay, so let's check out Black Myth Wukong. Let's see. Oh! Where the fuck did this come from? Where did this come from? Number 2, Dragon Age the Veilguard. Number 2. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And there it is. There it is. So here's why I find this to be funny. Okay. And this is where the deliberation thing came into play. This is why I wanted to give you the context as to how they got to these games. Because Dragon Age the Veilguard being voted number 2 by Kotaku for Game of the Year makes no sense when you remember that the Game Awards is voted on by the journalists. And if you look at all of the journalist outlets, they all have Dragon Age the Veilguard high up on their list, if not number one on their list. So how is it possible that the journalists can put Dragon Age the Veilguard high up on all of their lists on their websites, and yet Dragon Age the Veilguard was nowhere to be seen in the Game Awards aside from the Accessibility Award, which it lost? How is that possible? If that was the case, and this game is high up on all your lists, then you guys would have voted for it in the Game Awards, but they didn't. So how is that even possible? Right? It doesn't make any sense. It's because of this little caveat. Like I said in the beginning when we were talking about it and how they got to these numbers, they voted on it based on numbers, and then afterwards they deliberated and talked about the placement of certain games that should or should not be where they are based on the numbers. So they forcibly put Dragon Age the Veilguard into the number 2 spot, even though nobody probably wanted it there. This is where the deliberation took place. So let's see what they said about it. After 10 years away from the series, BioWare had a lot to live up to with Dragon Age the Veilguard. The 4th RPG in the fantasy franchise makes a hard pivot into action and succeeds brilliantly, delivering fast-paced, expressive, engaging combat, which rivals that in many of its contemporaries. It also brings in almost an entirely new cast of memorable companions while trying to wrap up over 15 years of story. And somewhere in the midst of all that, it has to make good on a cliffhanger that has been hanging over the franchise for over a decade. Somehow, the Veilguard manages to pull off all of the above with a level of refinement not seen in anything BioWare has done before. What? Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Oh my God. We are just flat out lying. We are flat out lying. A level of refinement not seen in anything BioWare has done before? Are we fucking kidding me? You sit on a throne of lies, my friend. You sit on a throne of lies. The Veilguard has been divisive. What does that link to? An article from October 28, 2024. Okay, whatever. Let's go back down. The Veilguard has been divisive, but even so, here I am writing about it as number 2 on our 2024 Game of the Year list. Oh my God, bro. The shillery is insane. I could never be a shill. Oh my God, I can't be a shill. To lie through your fucking teeth like this is crazy to me. I came into the Veilguard jaded, feeling that BioWare had lost the plot in its constant attempt to make Dragon Age an anthology series, each with a different protagonist, even as it focused on presenting a world influenced by your heroes and their decisions. Some of the Veilguard's greatest failings are in its inability to marry an anthology structure, with a choice and consequence BioWare has become synonymous with. But what it loses in lack of carryover from decade-old games, importing only a handful of decisions from its direct predecessor, it makes up for in being probably the best foundation for a brighter future this series has had since Dragon Age Origins, bro. Yeah, nah, this is bait, bro. This. I agree, Christos. This is bait. This is bait. The Veilguard is all about wrapping up loose ends and paving the way for the next generation of Dragon Age heroes. Some of the game's most moving moments are ones in which it feels like you're watching an origin story unfold as the heroes of before pass the torch to the next young whippersnapper doomed to save the world. New hero Rook is one of the best realized heroes BioWare has ever created, giving you some of the most thorough tools yet to define who your character is in ways that extend beyond how they fight and what they look like. How is that possible? None of that's true because you can't play as a bad character. You can't even play as a semi-bad character. You got to play as a good guy or a therapist. Sometimes both at the same time. You can't actually be who you want to be in Dragon Age the Veilguard. But anyway, they're going to continue. But despite how much wonderful specificity and detail you could bring to your own Rook, you can't. Their story is universal for longtime fans of BioWare fantasy series. It's not all great, as there's an unnerving sense at times that Rook isn't the one who should be here to watch history be uncovered. But the long hidden truths they unearth about the world of Thetis are by turns satisfying, thrilling, and shocking. And the Veilguard manages to wield the uncertainty about Rook's worthiness to pave the way for one of BioWare's best finales. Best finales. You know what? I can't even argue with you there because I also got the best finale. I did. Everybody died. So you're not lying there. Everybody died. In all actuality, they did give you the best finale because they made a game that made you not want to like anyone so that you actively try to kill the entire team. And then when you do, the level of satisfaction that you get is immense. It's immense. So maybe in that aspect, it's kind of like a reverse psychology thing where they made you hate all the characters and made you want to kill them. So you have to work hard at getting them killed. And then like you just get an immense satisfaction. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they're not lying. Maybe they're not lying. Each tale it tells on the way to its climactic battle, whether it be Nev Gallus fighting for the city she loves or Davrit uncovering Grey Warden history, feels like a fresh start for this world. Give it Dragon Age Pass. It's hard to tell if the Veilguard is setting the series up to finally shed the weight of its long overarching lore, or if it's ready to finally use its advantage with more forethought. Can you imagine being this journalist and thinking that a game with massive overarching lore is a bad thing? Can you imagine? Imagine thinking that a story with overarching lore that has immense world building is a bad thing and it's something that you should shed and get rid of. I think that's wild. This is the kind of mindset these people have about Lord of the Rings too. They're like, yeah, no, Lord of the Rings has overarching lore that just holds us down. We need to shed the weight of this overarching lore. Okay. Interesting. Then it says that, but for the moment, the Veilguard did exactly what it needed to do. It put BioWare back on track with Dragon Age to do what it does best. Create worlds for us to inhabit and define who our heroes are. We're given a space to create, destroy, fall in love, hold violent grudges, fight for what we believe in, support those around us, and ultimately save the world we help define. Says Kenneth Shepard. Kenneth Shepard. Kotaku. Let's see. Kenneth Shepard Kotaku. There's no way, bro. Wait, what? What? There's no way. I remember this guy. Wait. No. I remember this guy. Wait. I remember this guy. Kenneth Shepard. I remember this guy. Kenneth Shepard. I remember this guy. So, what the fuck? I remember this guy. So then why is this picture on his LinkedIn? Hold on. Oh no. Hold on. Is there a picture of this guy with his sleeves off? Is there a picture of this guy with his sleeve? Did he trans himself? Wait a second. Is there a picture of this guy with his sleeves off? No, that can't be real. Wait. It can't be the same person. No. There's no way. Something's wrong here. But this LinkedIn profile says staff writer at Kotaku. Is there two Kenneth Shepards? There's no way. He would never put this much effort. You're right. There's no way. I gotta dig deeper. Is there two Kenneth Shepards? Huh. Because both of these people got tattoos out the ass, but I can't see. I can't see whether or not they have matching tattoos. Kenneth is a man's name. Yeah, but you could change your name pretty easily. So all of the stuff for him that's recent is male. So I'm going to assume he's a male, and I don't know why they put a female on that other LinkedIn. I have no idea why. Maybe there's 2 Kenneth Shepherds. I have no idea. Very strange. But regardless, Dragon Age the Veilguard is number 2. So they purposefully ignored Black Myth Wukong because of course they did. Of course Kotaku did. The Black Myth Wukong was supposed to be here. And it's not. What's number 1? Astrobot, of course. Of course, Astrobot's number 1. Like I said, it's mimicking everything else on this list. Mimics the Game Awards. Everything else mimics the Game Awards. Except for the number 2 slot. The number 2 slot was changed, and they threw in Dragon Age the Veilguard. That's what they did. There's no Space Marine either. Yeah, I know. There's no Space Marine either. So, again, my only question is if the Game Awards were voted 90% by journalists, and all of these journalists have Dragon Age the Veilguard at number 2 or number 1 on their top game of 2024 list, then why was Dragon Age the Veilguard not nominated across the board at the Game Awards? Something very weird is going on. Somebody is lying somewhere, and whether that's in the Game Awards or whether that's the journalists, which are probably both, because they're both usually liars, something weird is going on. And looking at this, we're supposed to believe that these people are the ones that want to be the arbiters to tell people what's good games or not? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good.